Hey, what's going on, party people? Welcome to the Level With You show. My name is Wiley Olmstead. I am your host, and this week I am joined by Anthony Duart.
Hey.
Kenny Castro.
What's up?
And the man with the plan, Tyler Hadley.
Hey guys, how's it going? We're back.
We are back. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We got a good amount of news to go through. Some sad delays happening, just like last week. It's a trend that is continuing. Also, we're going to give our hot new impressions of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So, first of all, we want to talk about our upcoming Super Smash Bros. Tournament on April 2nd, downtown Springfield. Details to be shared soon, so keep an eye out for that. Also check out Kenny streaming Madden every Monday for Madden Mondays, or should I say Maddening Mondays.
Yes, please.
And then just more Twitch activity in general. We're going to be doing this show live every Tuesday, as well as a schedule that we are working on so we can be coming to you several times per week. All right, so how's everything going, guys? What's new in the world of Anthony, Kenny, and Tyler?
Not too much. I got a little bit of a cold, but other than that, doing pretty good. I got a lot of Dragon Ball in this weekend, so really, all I really did, but I'm doing pretty good.
So we all went to Hot Pot together on Saturday.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So Tyler, you want to talk about your Hot Pot hot time?
My hot pot birthday experience.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Second time being at Hot Pot. I got the less spicy soup base, and we got tons of food. We got some beef shank. Kenny and Anthony wanted to try the pig tongue, like me and
Pig
Wiley
brain?
did.
Big brain.
Yeah, big brain.
Yeah.
That was cool. And you guys gifted me some nice cheeses and beers and some cool artwork.
You tried the cheese yet?
Yeah, I did actually. Very good.
Hell yeah. Glad to hear
Me
it.
and Caitlin had some last night.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And they don't mess around with the spice there.
No, oh my god.
Like, they have the level 1 and the level 2 spicy. I went with the level 1, and usually I don't quite get the spice that I'm looking for, but this was like damn spicy. If I had gotten level 2.
Oh,
I was living in Spice Town. How is that? What is that? Who's that guy? The cook? What was talking about Spice Town?
is it Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
I was like Guy Fieri.
Flavor
Town. Yeah.
Flavor Town, Spice Town. I saw the same to me.
I still will be cooking sometimes and just like ironically say to myself, welcome to Flavor Town.
I'm still on the Emerald Lagasse BAM train when I don't even really cook, but if I'm making that, I was making that tuna fish last night. I was like,
Ooh, tuna fish sandwich.
Oh, it was really good. I put some onions in it. I put chopped up.
Did you drop some black pepper in it?
I did, of course. I love black pepper. I put some black pepper in it, a little garlic powder, a little bit of onions, not cucumbers, celery, a little bit of celery.
Sounds legit.
You see, we're chefs here. You know.
Oh yeah. When I try, when I actually don't just microwave something.
Word. Well, no shame in that from time to time. I'm trying to think if I did any cooking. I've just been making stir fries like crazy. We're trying to do the low carb thing and shave off a few pounds, and I've been doing fine with it, but I'm like getting to the point where I find the vegetables I want. I usually have some meat that I've cooked, and I'm just getting crazy and crazier with these stir fries. I even posted one on Facebook yesterday.
Nice.
Because I was like, damn, this one looks real good.
Oh, yeah. You gotta
it's all about the plating.
Yeah, totally.
It is all about the presentation.
And yeah, one thing that I'll say that I mentioned it in my Facebook status, but I literally will just turn the skillet on high and then just work fast and like find the things in the fridge, get a meal ready in like under 7 or 8 minutes. And it's like, it's fun. It kind of gives me the feeling of
speedrunning a meal.
You know what exactly. It is? He's in a Sekiro fight while he's cooking.
You gotta hit the fatal blows with the different temperatures and notches and spices. You gotta kick it up too.
Yeah. Just gotta know when to add the onions, when to add the meat, when to add the liquid.
Next time you cook, you should play in the background either the Bell Gargoyles boss battle theme from Dark Souls and see how intense that gets.
Okay.
Or Flight of the Bumblebee.
I can dig that.
You know what I might invest in? I might invest in the Final Fantasy 15 cookbook for Wiley. So we could have him live streaming cooking recipes from there.
What?
I'd be into that.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, we can present it like
it's a legit cookbook?
Yeah.
Really? They have?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go get all those monster skins and bones and.
I hope they supplement for the real world because I ain't got no sword.
That was definitely one of the most fun parts about that game, was just being around the campfire with your bros, mowing down.
Yep, just eating. And I like the fishing a lot. I think, I don't know if I've said this before, but the very first time I played it, or one of the first times when I first got Final Fantasy 14 for the PS4 when it first released, Tyler came over and I just fished for like 2 or 3 hours.
In 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fishing is much more involved than you would expect it to be. Like, I kind of gave up, actually, to be honest, after a few minutes.
Yeah, I gave up on the game, but it was really fun fishing.
I can't believe I actually finished that game, dude. The game was just a mess by the end of it.
I gotta go back.
I played it before it was patched and everything.
I played it post-patch.
Yeah.
And how was it still a mess?
No, actually, I felt like, I kind of listened to all the things that people said about the end, and I could see how they try to make it better,
Okay.
It definitely felt a little better.
Because there was that whole very long section, and they apparently made that streamlined somehow.
They streamlined it, it like that end area when you're in that corridor and all that stuff. The hallway, it was real quick. I was in, out pretty much, and I was on to the big fights.
Gotcha.
Pretty quickly.
Word. So. All right, well, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Talking about video games before we're in the video game section. Mm-hmm. But why don't we get into it? We've got a big new AAA release to discuss this week. First time in a few weeks. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Oh yeah, it's been a good. But before we bring up Kakarot, I want to give a shout out to my buddy on Discord, the Great Wildcard. He was showing me earlier this week an early access game on Steam that's out now from the same developers of Bastion, Pyre, Transistor,
Super Giant Games. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Their new game Hades, and it looks amazing. It's I want to say kind of almost it is a roguelike. But you go through, every time you play through, you get different weapons, upgrades. You have a different layout or a different setup every time you kind of go through with different augments and favors from the gods that you meet along the way. And you have this nice little relationship tree, which I thought was kind of cool. So it was like throwing that little dash of Persona, Social Link, or, you get higher relationships with people, you get more, abilities, or one of the abilities that you already have buffed. Stuff like that. So it looked really great, and he was giving me a bunch of really good, details and everything about it. So I want to shout out to him and check it out if you can on Steam. It's I'm not sure how much it is, but it's relatively cheap and it's in early access. So they're gonna keep piling on stuff. So it looks real good if you're into roguelikes and Greek mythology.
It's got that same sort of art style as the other games as well, right? Sort of,
kind of
not quite top-down, isometric.
Yes, exactly. The art style is what drew me. Is he actually showed me like one of the character portraits, and I was like, "This is amazing! It looks great." Like the character art is kind of, it's like Transistor, but more. It's like a little grittier than that.
Okay.
So it was a cool little like, wow, it's different to see from them, and it's definitely still very appealing.
Yeah, they're a developer that I've beaten all their games now. I think, they only have 3, I believe, unless I'm missing one. But they're all very good. Pyre is my personal favorite. So when I heard about this one being a little bit more action-oriented, I was very intrigued. But just waiting for it to come to consoles.
For sure.
So
no, saying that'd be awesome. Anything on the Switch, man?
Does it have any sort of release window?
I don't know. Anything with like the early access, it kind of never really. Same thing with Temtem, which launched today. Tuesday. I guess it's a full price point of $35 now, which is cool. Definitely want to check it out, but I'll have to wait till the next paycheck.
Gotcha. So that is Hades in early access on Steam.
And on around.
All right. Without further ado, guys, open world anime RPG, going to end the stigma of bad anime games, according to Mr. Kenny over here. What do you think about it?
It's I know that I'm a little less far than Kenny is right now, so I just beat the first real saga that goes on, the Saiyan saga, or the invasion of the Saiyans, Attack of the Saiyans. In Dragon Ball Z, it kind of sums up, everything that happened post Z in the opening couple minutes for you. You're introduced to Goku, his son. He got stuck in a rock for me in the first 10 minutes of playing, because you have to do this really weird escort mission. Not even you oh wow, go take Gohan to go fishing, and you put him down and he walks like this at the speed of a snail. And then we were going around this rock, so I didn't know where I was supposed to go exactly. So I was like, come on, Gohan, let's go this way. And he goes, Dad, wait up. And he starts crying if you're not slow enough and keep pace with him. I was like, okay, son, come back. So I went back to him, and he's just in a rock, just stuck walking. So I had to reload my game.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not a great first impression.
Nope, but it just got great after that, thankfully. No more Gohan stuck in rocks.
Okay, so what are you feeling about the mission structure? And, is it a satisfying land to explore?
Yeah, it's like it's not an open world game. There's like huge open areas that you can select on an overworld map.
It's like a semi open structure. Like it gives you your space to
sort of like a Mass Effect or something.
Kind of,
yeah, almost. Yeah. So you could on Earth you could pick between like multiple areas that you'll go to the world map. You'll transport over there, and then from there you have this big map. Not huge, but it's pretty big, and then you fly around, run around. Go explore it, go in the water, all that good stuff.
I was really surprised you could actually go underwater because at first I didn't think you could go in the water at all because I think it was gated because I had to go do something else.
Exactly, it gates you at times for certain missions, but in that first one to open the game, it didn't let you go in the water. But then once you're out actually in the world, you could go in the water. You have your breath meter, see how much air you have before you suffocate in the water and all that stuff.
Okay, so this being a Dragon Ball game, I assume that it is a action game. How's the action?
It's good. It's the combat's very fast. If you've played any of the Dragon Ball fighting games before, it's not quite as focused or streamlined as, say, Dragon Ball FighterZ, because that's just like a one-on-one fighting game. 2D play, and this is open world 3D. But if you've played any 3D-esque fighter, there's Budokai Tenkaichi, the most recent Xenoverse 2, which are really good. It plays more like a Xenoverse game. But a lot smoother, I think. It's very, you can literally zip. You're zipping around the air. You feel like you're really a super warrior, as they would say.
So does it have like juggle mechanics? Like, is it that type of character action game?
You can get somebody stuck in a combo for sure. And when you're kind of making your own combos as you go along. But as you level up and progress on the skill tree, you get more moves, you get upgrades to your moves, but you can't really lock an enemy into a juggle unless they kind of get stunned, which they only really, even the NPCs kind of leave themselves not too open for it.
And you could somewhat juggle when you have a partner with you.
Okay.
You could kind of start into a combo and then combo them that way, and they could get hit back to you and stuff like that. And like there's a mechanic where, what do they call it? So it's attention meter. That once it's full, you power up your key all the way, and you keep holding it even past its max, and you'll go into this tension mode. And
how do you activate that?
Because that one you just have to hold through. Hold your key charge all the way through, even past its max for a whole second, and then you'll activate it.
And that's the bar on the right next to the character portrait space. Okay, cool. Because they mentioned that, and I have not done anything with it.
Yeah, once you do that, actually, you can combo your specials.
Really?
You could cancel combo. Ooh. So as you're doing one, then cancel that into another one. So you'll vanish behind them. Like you could do 3 Kamehamehas back to back, as a combo. When you're in that mode.
Is there a charge time still? Like when you're doing
so that? It'll deplete. So the tension will once you're in it, it'll start depleting slowly, and you'll eat up your ki. So as long as you have enough ki to pull off 3 Kamehamehas, you'll be able to pull them and just cancel in the middle of it to transport into the second one, then go from there into the third one.
Okay, but do you still even when you hit max tension, you still lose your ki? Like when you use specials, it's just kicks out normally. Okay, so you don't have this super.
Yeah, no, you don't have the super stuff. The Kaioken is one of the ones you get when you're fighting when you come back to Earth and you're about to fight Frieza. Not Frieza, Vegeta. Everybody remembers the story. He comes back, has Kaioken. I was a little thrown off at first because I wasn't paying attention that Kaioken was eating through my health bar. So, and it was kind of cool because then I'm in the Frieza saga and I got Super Saiyan now. Super Saiyan eats up your ki bar. So like the transformations, like I like the variation that depending on which one you want to go with, you gotta give up something.
Okay, so good balance there. You were saying something about a partner.
Yeah, so throughout the story, sometimes you'll be partnered up. Like so there was points in time where Gohan was rolling around with Piccolo, or it was Gohan and Krillin, or it was Vegeta. On Namek, so there's a couple fights where it's Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin. So you'll get partners where you can actually make sure they're being leveled up and make sure their skill tree is pretty good. And you could kind of set up their support skills that you activate yourself because they won't activate them on their own. Okay. So, it's a good way for you to start going to combos. Like if you're pulling off a Gallic gun and you want Krillin to now, while the guy is caught in your Gallic gun, pull off a destructible disc because he's not moving, you could pull that as well. So he's being hit by both moves at the same time. I say one of the best things I found in the combat myself is when it's you against 3 or you against 2. Okay. Because most people might think, oh, it's just a button masher, just smash it, smash away. When you're outnumbered, you can't just smash away, because at all times you're being attacked from every angle. Like, the NPCs aren't waiting for you to, oh, you're fighting this guy, I'll wait on the sideline. Like, you're being attacked.
Like Sleeping Dog style, I remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like all in at you, and it's like you have to, at least they telegraph their attacks where it's like, the robots are the main like common enemy, at least at first. And when they're going to shoot like a projectile or something, they have like this red laser with a bunch of arrows that kind of like warns you.
And if it's not a telegraph one, when it's just regular combo hits, then it becomes a little more tougher, because you might have your back to two enemies while fighting one, and they're coming in and you're trying to pull off a Kamehameha. Now
they'll just throw you.
Now they're canceling it, and it gets even tougher, because at first you're like, okay, you're seeing these handicap matches between just regular goons, right? And on Namek, you're fighting against actual people in the story where it's 1-on-2. So you have tougher enemies, and you're like, wow, like this is, like now you have to really use your vanish, use your counter, your counter vanish, which that one I find interesting. You can vanish without using ki.
Really?
But when you
the dodging hacks,
But so you dodge without using ki, but when you vanish into a counter, you use ki.
Use like half your meter, because if you're like in the middle,
you use a good chunk, which is so it's a way to keep you from overusing that, because that tends to be depending on the level you are, like you get off a nice hit, like almost 3,000, 4,000 health.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Well, it is. At one point in time, it is like that. That could be a level 23 goon's health completely. Okay. Sometimes, So you can't overuse that. It eats up your ki. The vanish into a combo, but just a regular vanish, of course. You've seen the anime.
I have not seen the. I've seen the episodes, but I have not watched it. So that's why I'm wondering. One of my questions: if you're not a DBZ fan, worth it or no?
If you like action games with some RPG elements and leveling, and you like the anime aesthetic, yes. But if you're not a real big, definitely being a fanboy of Dragon Ball Z is the big hook for it. If you don't like Dragon Ball Z, then it's really going to be if you like the aesthetic, like you like the world, you kind of like the gameplay.
And in reality, this is almost like a fan service, game. Like the moments, some moments in the game look better than in the actual show when it happens.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you're like, wow, like they did this justice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm stuck. I'm left sometimes that I'm like, I'm watching. It's like I'm watching the anime again. Like this looks amazing.
That's cool.
Then I kind of had to remind myself, like, oh wow, this is what's the name of the company?
CyberConnect. Yeah.
CyberConnect 2, which they did the Ninja Storm games for Naruto, and those have been amazing with the cutscenes. So I should have expected it. But I think above the combat's decent, and it doesn't get stale fast. It's not stale at all, at least not for me. Yeah, I'm already done with the Frieza saga. What I like more is how true they are to the story and how they do it justice, Like instead of rushing it and just being sloppy with it and, some of the animation and real, like, the important scenes, they stay true or even try to elevate that scene to another point.
And it has all of the original voice actors?
They've switched them up. I know one of the voice actresses who originally voiced Gohan in original Dragon Ball Z, she ended up, when they redubbed it as Dragon Ball Z Kai, she ended up bowing out. I don't know for what reason, but they ended up changing voice actresses. And actually, the English voice actress they have now playing Gohan, she actually also does Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy from the One Piece English dub.
Okay.
So I thought that was a nice little thing. I was like, oh, cool. And then Krillin's voice is Usopp's English dub voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like, cool.
So are you guys playing it in English or Japanese?
English. That's just because I grew up with it, like the English. Like Sean Chemels played Goku for as long as I've known Dragon Ball Z, and I don't really want to hear anybody else's Goku, personally.
Gotcha. Because I played Fighters, a good amount of it, and that has a ridiculous story mode as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't find it in the options where you could turn it on to English.
Really?
So I just had it in. I don't know if I didn't look or.
I was actually pretty drunk when I first started playing it to try to do it because I was like, I want to hear the English voice actors. It took me a couple hours to find it. It wasn't like, oh, hey, you can change the voices if you want. It was like you had to go to the 3 separate menus. It was weird.
So I got very used to the Japanese one. I know that
it fits though.
Yeah. So if I were to play this, which I probably won't, since I got 2 other folks on the crew that can talk about it. I don't know. I'd probably stick with Japanese. I like to stick with Japanese for anime most of the time, But lately, I've kind of been listening to more Englishes, like My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia's English dub is great.
It's very good.
Really good.
I love it a lot.
And you know, I love All Might, the guy, because that's Chris Sabat. That's the Vegeta. That's Piccolo.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, because All Might, is awesome.
That's Jason in Tokyo Ghoul. That's
Chris. He does a lot.
He does a lot.
Chris Sabat does a lot of voices. I don't remember who else.
He does a bunch. Like when you really look at it, I could most likely try to. I'm most likely later on I'll remember after the show and tell you a bunch more. Like that he's
does all over the English VA scene. But yeah, it's good. I can definitely see, for me personally, I can see the combat and everything getting definitely like a little repetitive and boring. Probably another 10 hours in. Definitely once I've played through the game once and done my fair share of side content, being like, well, okay, wow, look. Another random encounter. Even the random encounters were kind of starting to get stale.
So I was gonna tell you, you most likely haven't figured this out, and I did. I was gonna let you kind of simmer a little bit more before telling you, but I decided to say it. Okay. One mechanic I really do like about the random encounters, you can beat the random encounter before even actually starting the fight.
Do you throw the key blast at him and it'll take their health down?
No. Maybe I haven't tried it yet, but you can fly right through them at full speed. While you're flying, if you come at them at the right moment, at like the right level and angle, you can finish them without even starting the encounter. Really? You fly right through them, because especially if you're above their level.
That's pretty fun.
That's good. Wow.
So I've been like kind of, there's one 400 meters away, and I try to like get it right as I'm heading, and I'm
get the XP and everything.
700 XP or 1,000 XP.
Really? All right. I don't know what I'm doing.
And then there's another one. Let's say you get the angle right, but you're not above their level, like enough to finish them in that. You do a surprise attack, where your character then, if it's 3 of them, will bounce off a hit from each one, and then start the fight, where it'll take off like a quarter of the health. So now they start off with less health, and because you got them with a surprise attack. So I love that mechanic.
Dang.
I was like, wow, this is very cool.
That is, you know.
That is nice, yeah. That's usually, because it's usually me like trying to run away and collect all those stupid orbs that I found out after collecting all the areas. They just end up respawning every time you go back.
Yeah, but they
respawn their currency.
Yeah, they let you level up. So all your characters, and I'm like, well, that makes sense. It's like you don't want to be fully out of orbs in one area.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, and like very deep into the trees, like they start asking for like 10,000 blue orbs, like so you wanna.
That's a lot of orbs.
You're picking up a lot.
A whole lot of orbs.
So that was cool. So it's definitely like there's a lot to find. There's a lot of collectibles, and I could definitely see it just getting stale further down the line, but for right now, I'm definitely liking, enjoying it a lot. You can get different vehicles too, which is kind of cool. You can zoom on when Goku's Cloud, the Flying Nimbus, you get it first, and I haven't gotten that far to get any other ones, but I'm really excited for like all the side content, the driving mission, because I know that filler episode where Goku and Piccolo take their driver's license exam. That filler is great. That's in there. You get a car, you can start racing after that.
Yeah, I can't wait to start racing. Let's see how that goes.
All right, so you can actually catch Anthony streaming this game pretty regularly. I don't know if I mentioned that at the top of the show, but he's been, he's got a setup in his room now.
Oh, yeah. Join me on Twitch. I'll usually announce it. I'll post it on either Instagram or Facebook whenever.
And I share it on our social media services whenever he goes live.
Exactly. I do have to wait another couple days, though, so I'll catch up on some other work, and then hopefully by Thursday I'll have my new equipment in, and we can get back to doing it.
We'll have maybe some art with Anthony on Thursday when he gets the capture card, maybe.
For sure.
Maybe so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, I've been playing one new game this week that I wanted to touch on for a little bit. It's called Life is Strange 2. The first game came out, I believe, either late 2015, early 2016. Was a big hit.
Mm-hmm. And we have a review by our very own Wiley of it on the YouTube channel.
We do. You can see me being way too serious, talking about it in depth.
It's a classic. You're going to want to check it out.
With a friend of the podcast. But anyway, so that was a very successful game. The characters, Max and Chloe, really set the internet on fire in some ways. Like, I don't know, they had... the game was very, very popular with its handling of homosexuality and just sort of a very sweet and young love that it portrays, especially in the Life is Strange Before the Storm that came out, which is sort of like a mini spin-off prequel. So 2 started coming out earlier in 2019, and it did not set the world on fire. And the releases were very staggered, as they can be with episodic games a lot. So you'd be playing it and you wouldn't get to see what happens next for sometimes 2 months, sometimes even longer than that. I know that the game did not sell nearly as well as the original did. But it is now all out, and it is now all on Game Pass. So it's a very low barrier to entry, especially for me. I was a big fan of the first game. I was waiting for them all to come out. When I saw they're on Game Pass, I was like, it's only a matter of time. Just gotta pick my moment to jump in. And I'm now so they're 5-episode long games. Each episode 2.5 to 3 hours long or so. Okay. I finished episode 1, and I've done maybe half hour to an hour of episode 2.
Nice. So what's your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts. I think that it is very strong. I think that the writing, they do a really good job of writing teenagers and making it seem, not cheesy. Like, it's better than the first one in terms of writing. Of it's like, using modern slang and, you've got your phone and all your text messages. They seem very believable. You look around your room and it's got great details. Like, it kind of made me feel nostalgic for being young 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. So, the game starts out in autumn. It's actually visually very, very pretty, like, compared to the first game. Like, the first game looked okay. This one has some really nice environments. The first episode has definitely the largest open area. I mean, it's still a very confined space. So in this game, you're not playing as a girl. You're playing as a boy. He is, I want to say, 16, and you've got a little brother who is kind of like your companion throughout everything, and he's 9, and he's adorable. He's like one of the most cute, adorable characters I've seen in a game. And something very traumatic happens very early on. I don't want to give it away. It happens probably half an hour in, and it makes it so you have to go on the run, essentially. Okay. So you are in Oregon initially, and you just kind of are going on a journey. Your ultimate goal is to get down to Mexico, which is where you feel like you can be safe. You are I want to say first-generation Mexican immigrant. This game is very political. There are some, one of your neighbors early on, he says, you're the reason we got to build that wall and stuff like that. Wow. It really, it wears its politics on its sleeves. One of the characters that kind of helps you out a little bit early on to your journey is a big activist type journalist, road journalist, and he was a neat character. Is it going to have the same incredible mystery and reveal and murder and intrigue that the first game had? I don't know. It's too soon to tell. Episode 2 is kind of off to a slower start, but it could pick up. But like I said, I only played like a half hour. But really, really good first episode, and I think it's a shame that the game, didn't have the success that the first one did. Maybe they'll turn around with positive word of mouth. Now it is actually...
Now it's on Game Pass and accessible to anybody who has Game Pass. And
exactly.
I'm sure once more people, that'll definitely get more people talking about it, and especially if the writing's better than the first one.
Yeah, I think it maybe the plot isn't going to turn out to be as strong, but I think that the dialogue between you and your friend, between you and your little brother, and just in general has a more sincere vibe than the first one did.
Now, are you on the road with your little brother?
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of like that's the same quote unquote dynamic as what is it? What's the guy from Last of Us? Ellie and Joel. Ellie and Joel. You got the guys from Left 4 Dead. No, is it Left 4 Dead? Not Left 4 Dead. The Walking Dead. Oh my god, I get such a brain fart.
Yeah,
Lee
The Walking Dead season 1.
Clementine. I like that pair a lot.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that. You're trying to teach him how to do certain things for himself, and so be smart. But he's very young, and he's very, sort of sheltered and innocent. So
it's kind of like malleable. You gotta choose what option you pick to. Do you have an option to a dialogue tree?
Yeah. So the game is straight up all dialogue trees. That you're deciding whether to be patient or to be angry. You're deciding whether to shoplift or not shoplift, and they have real impact on the story. Maybe not where it ultimately will go in some aspects, but there's this one thing early on where you have $30 in your pocket and you need to stock up on supplies. Shit's really expensive, like a sleeping bag or a blanket is $16, a water is $2, and meat is like $6, like a jerky, and like you're trying to feed and clothe your little brother who's you've been camping out and it's really cold, and so I didn't have quite enough money to get water. I didn't realize that I could go around the side and fill up water in the bathroom sink, so that's like a cool little get around. But so I stole a water bottle. I was like, it's for my survival and it's for my brother, but you get caught, and then it seems to have pretty big ramifications.
Oh, wow. Did you go back and redo, and that's how you found out? Or
no, I didn't, because I had already stole it when I ran into the sink.
Oh, and you're like, oh, cool, just fill it up here.
And I thought I had gotten away with it, but then he confronts you a little bit later on with one of the store owners. Wow. But yeah, so it's very relaxing games. There's no real challenge involved. There might be some minor puzzle solving at times, but I haven't been stuck at all, and I think that the game is really good so far.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out. I love those. I was super hooked on the first season of Walking Dead when that came out. I haven't touched any of the other ones, 2 or 3, but the episodes, I think it was like 5 or 6 episodes in the first one. But I would love to go back and play that game, because that was like, I remember as soon as the credits rolled on that, I was crying. I was up till like 2 or 3 in the morning trying to finish it because it was right at the last episode, and then I was just like,
I think 2 is pretty good.
2, I gotta check it out. I really want to continue with it, because it was absolutely amazing. The art style, the story. I was just afraid, because like they're not gonna have this interaction again, but I could definitely be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting into the itch of some of these episodic games, especially with the games with golds. And this month's Batman Telltale games is one of our games with gold this month.
That's cool. Good? Is it both? Because I know there was 2.
So it's actually just the original one.
The original one, okay.
Because I know the second one is actually the same one. It's just done in a different art style. It's the Shadows version. What? Shadows edition. So, but you can pick up the original one with games with gold, right? Then pay $5 for the addition of that feature of the Shadows edition, which is the extra art style where it's almost all black and white art, and with just certain colors in certain scenes,
like
popping out. Yep, more like Sin City.
Isn't there a Batman season 2 from Telltale?
No, not from my understanding.
Oh,
or maybe there is.
Maybe there is. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I feel like there was one that I missed, but I could be wrong about that. I played the first one.
Yeah.
I know PlayStation gave you one. I have it on my PS4 as like the free PlayStation Plus members.
So that might be it. That might be episode 1, or actually all 5.
I think it might be all 5 in like the first season, but I'm not sure. So yeah, it look cool.
All right, Tyler. Don't mean to catch you off guard, but I got some questions for you about that here.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yeah. He has notes.
Well, Ring Fit Adventure. Tyler got it for his birthday, and he's like already lost 15 pounds. He's looking like super shredded.
He's got 2 golf balls where his biceps should be. He's like, bam, let's check out the court, sweetie. Come on, let's go toss a couple bangers.
And that's from like 2 days. So
I'm ripped. Gotta get that cruise body ready.
The cruise body.
Tell me your thoughts.
It's cool. I probably played like an hour. We've worked off a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah,
so that's kind of nice.
Hear that?
And it's a real workout. Like, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I mean, I play Beat Saber, and Beat Saber's pretty much like a workout. But this is like for real. I mean, Caitlin and I played a couple of the mini games where I'm gonna grab the ring. I'm gonna show it off.
That thing is wild. It's like a little plastic. What is it? Does it have
my ring
material it's made out of? There it says.
I have no idea what it's
made out of. Some kind of material.
Something very resistant.
Some sort of carbon fiber.
Adamantine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you're doing some of these. You're doing some of those.
For audio listeners, he is squeezing them.
He's really having fun with his nice new toy.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can wear it as a necklace if you want.
You get a necklace? What? Oh, you can wear it as a necklace.
So you play the story mode?
I did play the adventure mode. I started that. The story itself is just like super goofy. You end up finding a ring. The ring releases a demon, and then you have to run around, and you have to put the leg strap. So one Joy-Con goes in the ring, and the other Joy-Con goes in a leg strap. And so you actually have to jog in place in order to move your character. You have to squeeze the ring in order to shoot like air blasts in order to break boxes and things like that. And once you get to a couple levels in, then you're starting to fight monsters, and when you fight a monster, you have to select an exercise which does damage to the monster. So you're doing a set, so you can do ab curls where you're bringing your legs into your abs every time legs in and release. It does damage to the enemy.
And they have like weaknesses and stuff, right? Like due to certain exercises.
Maybe I haven't gone that far.
I think I've heard that.
I literally just got past the first world, and it's I mean, I was kind of winded, not winded, but I was tired after getting through like the entire first world. The point where I'm like, all right, Caitlin, you can play.
You can try.
You try this.
It looks awesome.
Are you getting to the point where you need to like take a shower?
No, I mean that's kind of why I stopped after like an hour or so, because I was like, I'm tired, but I'm not like sweating my ass off or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I also just didn't really want to exercise all that much during that time.
So do you think this is like a legit way for people to get on a fitness regimen?
Yeah, I mean, you can turn the game on and they have like set routines that you can just like select and do certain exercises depending on what you want to focus on, whether it's cardio or strengthening or I mean, I don't think you could really get super buff by playing Ring Fit, but if you want to just kind of like have a more engaging, fun activity like Ring Fit Adventure could be the fit for you.
If you want to slim down and play RPG games at the same time, get that cardio.
Sounds not bad. It. Yeah,
that's what I need, baby.
We should play that on stream sometime.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I feel like if we all picked it up, we should take weigh-ins and go do a check-in every month.
I'd be down for that.
That'd be sick if they put in online multiplayer raid battles when you work out. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of dope.
I think that'd be really sick.
Yeah, you guys can all come over. We'll get in our shorts and sweatbands. We'll do a little mini game competition.
Get the Eye of the Tiger going.
I'll bring over my Speedo.
Yes,
my Speedo.
I want my shorty shorts.
Oh jeez,
make it happen.
Oh yeah,
this is gonna be a stream for the ages.
Oh, the
maybe you have to put age restriction on that. I don't know, man. You feel a lot of hair.
All right, so I think that's all we've been playing, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
Anything new from Earthbound? You got it there.
Yeah, I did play a little bit more Earthbound. I'm getting to the point where it's getting a little bit more challenging, a little bit more grindy, as Anthony has professed several times that it would, and I'm still enjoying it. I still hope that I can push through and get through it. I mean, I still think it's a very good game. I'm glad that I played it up to this point. It definitely shows its age in some fashions, but just an incredibly influential and charming game, Earthbound. But time will tell, see whether I stick with it or not. I just got to the point where the Paula gets kidnapped by the aliens in the grocery store or in the mall type thing, and I took that out. Pretty challenging getting to her. The enemies up the escalators and stuff were like, dang.
Yeah. There's like 4 floors you go up, and like at the time you get to like the top of like every one of the escalators, you have to fight an enemy.
Yeah,
or like a mini boss, and they're just like this. Ness has like healing and offensive like psi moves or like the magic moves, and then your other party member who you're stuck with, you have Jeff, doesn't have anything. He has his physical attack, and if you have him, like give him items or something, that's all he has.
And he can spy. Which is useful. It's useful once.
Yeah, exactly. But it's rough.
So yeah, I'll probably keep plugging along with that Earthbound. So now we are going to move on to
Cruising for a News.
Coming soon, we will have a real Cruising for a News and theme song, a real sound that plays. It's super official, and I look forward to that day.
Placeholder right now.
All right, Cruising for a News, and it's the part of the show where we go over the things happening in the video game world, read them back to you, and discuss. All right, so as we talked about last week, we had some disappointing delays. This week, we have some disappointing delays. Number 1, Dying Light 2. Posted on Twitter, a statement from CEO Paul Marchuka said, "We were initially aiming for a spring 22 release date with Dying Light 2, but unfortunately we need more development time to fulfill our vision. We will have more details to share in the coming months, and we'll get back to you as soon as we have more information." Dying Light 2 had never been given a firm release date, but the spring 2020 window was fast approaching. By not providing an updated release date or window, Techland has freed itself from the time constraint and, in theory, given itself indefinite time in order to bring Dying Light 2 to the standards that the team is chasing. While internally things are no doubt more complicated, it's clear that the team has decided more time is required to work on the project. Okay, so that's delay number 1. Delay number 2, and this one really hurts, guys. Cyberpunk 2077. Is
this the second one within like last 2 weeks?
No, did we talk about it last week?
No, we didn't. No. The Cyberpunk wasn't delayed last week.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay.
So. Yeah. So it is not coming out until September 7th, and I took a story that's actually related to about the development process. If anyone thought that delaying Cyberpunk 2077 by 5 months to September would give its developers a little more breathing room, well, guess again. In a call with investors on Thursday, CD Projekt's chief executive admitted that development crunch will still be necessary as CD Projekt Red brings the project to term. Let's see. Is the development team required to put in crunch hours? Answered to some degree, yes, to be honest. Kaczynski went on to say that we try to limit crunch as much as possible, but it is the final stage. We try to be reasonable in this regard, but yes, unfortunately. I need some water.
It says it somewhat fades the idea that this is another 5 months to polish up an otherwise finished game, and instead means developers need 5 extra months of full-on development to deliver something worth a launch. What CD Projekt Red has on hand now is playable, parentheses, the whole game, Nietzsche says, adding that it's been like that for a couple months. Still asked to describe what the trouble was causing the delay, he attributed it to some technical bug fixes and polishing. That said, the game is so detailed that polishing is just a complex task. It's about the number of things we have to take care of rather than some fundamental problem.
Oh, geez. That one hurts.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to come out in May, pushed all the way back, or no, April, right?
Yep.
That pushed all the way back to September. Only 2 months before we're getting the release of these new consoles. Just one more quick delay. Iron Man VR. In order to deliver on our vision and meet the high expectation of our amazing community, we've made the difficult decision to move Marvel's Iron Man VR to a May 15th, 2020 release. We truly appreciate and your understanding, blah, blah, blah. So, that one's not as much of a marquee title, although it is getting some pretty positive buzz about kind of a killer app VR game next year. So what do we think about all these delays? I think it's pretty much unprecedented to have so many in a short amount of time. I could be wrong about that. But
I think it's good. I just think the game developers, like you were saying earlier before the podcast, they shouldn't put so much pressure on getting a release date. They should just, in my opinion, they should just work on the game. Say, I guess Oddity spoiled me with that release trailer. Was like, it'll be out when it's ready. Yeah. It'll be out when it's done. And as someone who's worked on some things, they're definitely not as big as a game. I've just done like illustrations or designs in the past. It's like, hey, when do you think this is going to be done? When is this going to be done? Or it's like, you can't really put an exact time frame on something that you really have no clue what the hurdles are going to be throughout development. And any kind of like bug could happen, especially with coding. I can only imagine. And making sure everything that you don't fall through the floor, or get a crazy unfixable glitch of a bug that happens. But I mean, I think it's okay as long as of course they aren't working their employees to death, one, and two, like in the crunch, and just you're actually, which of course I'm sure they're doing, is actually improving the game and just ironing out any of the little wrinkles that are left.
I think some of these delays we could attribute it to the forward compatibility or backwards compatibility of the Xbox One X Series X. I think it takes off less of the pressure of trying to send off this generation of consoles with like these great games, and more of like, oh wow, we could kind of just finish polishing because these consoles are going to be living for another year or two. We're not at a rush to try and get it in so they can enjoy it for 7 months before buying the next console. So I think it definitely attributes to some of that, to less pressure, and it allows for more of a polishing and just making sure that they're putting out the best quality game that fans deserve.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Kenny. I think that the big reason that, and this is a little tinfoil cappy, but I think that developers are just now realizing with the new consoles, and maybe they've known this for a long time, but it's not going to be the traditional PS3 is garbage now, moved on to PS4. You know, it's going to be all your games are coming with you. They're going to work on the PS4, and as far as Xbox is going, we're even getting, you know what I'm saying, forward compatibility, where the Xbox One X is going to be able to play all the stuff that's coming out on the Series X for the first 1 to 2 years, which we discussed, I think, last week. So game developers now are not feeling necessarily like the end of a generation is something that, you know, a lot of these games that have long tails, you know, live service games, they look at it and they say, well, why are we rushing when we can just put it out? We have the huge PS4 install base, the large Xbox One install base that's still going to be there, and it's going to work on the new stuff, and maybe we'll throw in a PS5 patch or a Series X patch, and that's what I hope it goes, man, because like I do not want to buy Cyberpunk and then have to rebuy it on the PS5. Like I really hope that it's a patch.
Wow. As you PlayStation users got to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that on the Xbox Series X.
Well, you know you're going to get a PlayStation.
I'm going to get it, but...
hey, guys, we can settle this. Just buy PCs.
Listen. Everybody knows I'm an Xbox ambassador. So I'm, you know, I tried it. I tried being on the PS4 with you guys. I enjoy it, but I love my Xbox. I really do. I really do. So, and now I don't have to worry. I'm gonna pick up the PS5 and the Xbox Series X day of. Mm-hmm. But I don't have to worry about my AAA titles with the Series X because they're gonna just play it.
You know? True. Yeah, it's a nice feature, but you know we might be getting that with the 5 as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope it goes all the way back to PS1 and get PS1, PS2.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
There have been rumors of that.
I really hope so.
Yeah, that would be amazing. If they were all available in the store from like day one. You know,
that would be, or even just like I could play because I have all my PS1.
Yeah,
or that.
I think it'll be like that because of the licensing issues. It'll be like that where if you have the disc, you could play it. I don't think we'll see them on the store like that.
Yeah. You're probably right. All right, so our next story, Byleth is the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character. Woo! More Fire Emblem characters. That's what everybody wanted.
Everybody has been so upset about this.
Everybody's been very, very salty about it.
Yes.
I think they were gonna do it. They should have done it further in, maybe in character pass 2, that second pass. Yeah. You don't round out the last character,
right,
with another Fire Emblem character. I think this is less of a Sakurai choice, more of a Nintendo choice.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know,
that's why they gave him a 30-minute presentation to just be. I don't think it was like a presentation of the character. I think his 30-minute this direct was like, it's gonna be Byleth, but here's why. And it was just him trying to be like, but wait, this is all the stuff, and then you get some cool skins, and then everybody's like, oh.
I definitely think like they were like trying to smooth it over with with those 30 minutes, and still nothing you could say or do smooths it over. I truly want to think that it's because of the DLC that's coming out for Three Houses. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure Three Houses is still relevant for people who didn't buy the season pass or didn't or any of these things or haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah.
So they're dropping these DLC. You want them to pick up the DLC. So let's drop Byleth. You know, for the casual fans that didn't pick up Fire Emblem.
And how do you think of his moveset looks?
I actually I didn't even watch the trailer because I heard from Kenny that Byleth was it, and I was like, that's enough. I needed to know. And then I saw all the memes that came out. Like, did you see the one with Dante from Devil May Cry? They took the cutscene of him walking over the side of a cliff, green screen out the whole background, and put the Byleth reveal, just the splash screen. And he's like, what the hell is this?
No, I didn't see that.
It was really good. It made me laugh.
I actually like the moves. I think it incorporates a lot of the divine weapons from the game and gives it, like, you know, I think it's all every direction is a different move, right? Is a different weapon, right, Tyler? You watched it, right?
Yeah.
So every direction is a different weapon, right?
Yeah, there's like the sword, the bow, like a big axe looking thing.
Yep.
And like a lance.
Yep. Okay. So it's a nice variation, and then, you know,
doubling down on kind of Corrin's, like an evolution of Corrin, basically.
So he's not going to be a bad character. I think he's going to play very well.
And you have the two like Robin, the male or female, and Corrin.
Yep. But I definitely think drop of the ball. Nintendo put their hands into the pot, and I think they rushed it up. I think he was going to be I'm pretty sure he was gonna be a character from, I think personally, I predicted it. I don't think I told anybody that if they were gonna do one, they were gonna drop him. I enjoyed the game. I thought like, well, another Fire Emblem character wouldn't hurt.
Makes it what, 7 now?
Yeah, up there.
I think it is 7.
So
there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So in reality,
is there more Fire Emblem than Pokemon?
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so.
Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, my dad, Lucario, Pichu. What's this section?
Pokemon Trainer?
Pokemon Trainer, that's true. We have a Pokemon Trainer.
The new one.
That's it.
Oh, the Greninja.
Yep.
Incineroar.
Lucario.
Yeah, you got that.
Oh, you already got that.
So we got 8 so
8.
far?
So still Pokemon leads the way.
Okay, well.
Let's see.
So for all the people saying that it's Super Fire Emblem Smash, be quiet.
I mean, I do agree. I understand that. It's very frustrating, but I mean, hopefully
life goes on.
More, yeah. It'll be more surprising when we get the next patch. That's even amazing. I'm sure Nintendo was like, "You want to have 5 more characters? You put this guy."
And I'm pretty sure we weren't gonna get that 6th character in the character pass, and I'm pretty sure that's a Sakurai thing. Like I think he was like, "Oh, so you're gonna force me to end it with this guy? Then I'm doing a 6th character for this next pass."
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. There were kind of worse 6 characters if you count the Piranha Plant.
True.
Yeah.
But,
that was cool.
Yeah.
That was amiibo.
All right. What was I thinking? Oh, yeah. So that's not the only news. Whatever. He's out the 28th. Sorry, a little bit of a brain fart there. All right. Moving on to our next story.
So wait, that was the 28th?
28th of January. Cool. Yep.
And then on that same day, the next character pass is available for purchase.
Okay. So if you want to pre-purchase and put
your disappointment,
blind faith in,
I just pre-purchased, so I'll be pre-purchasing.
What if they add another Fire Emblem character for the first one?
I hope they add that. I don't know which one. The girl, hot girl. Put a hot girl. I don't know. I don't care.
What's her name? The blonde one.
Oh, from three houses.
Three houses. Kierkegaard.
Legengard. No. Hildegard. Yeah.
Is that it?
I think it's Hildegard, right?
Yeah.
It's Hildegard.
Okay. I'll take it. Okay.
I would have gone with Dimitri though, because after he loses the eye.
Spoilers.
Oh, my bad, spoilers,
dude.
Why didn't you either?
I don't care. All right. So here are the top 20 best-selling games of 2010 to 2019 of the decade in North America. Number 1, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm not going to say all the numbers now.
Oh my god.
Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty World War 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Minecraft. All right. In case you hadn't had enough, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, Mario Kart 8, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Man, that one sold like shit.
Wow.
Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4.
Skipped a couple there.
Did I?
No. Like Battlefield. Battlefield skipped 1 to 4, but that was like their sell. Sorry.
I didn't know that 1 was such a success like that. Destiny, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Star Wars Battlefront 2015.
I'm surprised they made it up there.
Yeah, what are your surprises here?
That we suck with our video game choices.
Yeah, I mean that's why I guess what's his name? The first
Hideo.
Yeah, Kojima's like, you don't understand. It's a stranded type game. You play Call of Duty first person shooter. It's like where's Borderlands on this? I mean, come on, man. That's got cool art style.
What do you say? The Americans,
yeah,
couldn't
can appreciate art in the same way.
Art. No, they can't. Look at what we're buying most of the time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. How many of the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the top 10 are Call of Duty games. Man, I'm very into Modern Warfare right now, the 2019 one, and
but I mean, I guess that makes sense.
It's crazy
with the advent of online play, Xbox Live, what that's turned into, PlayStation Online, what that's turned into. More people are going on into that. I know that was getting big at 2007, I think 2006, 2007. People going online playing Call of Duty on 360, but when I was just looking at the next part, the 2000 to 2009, the difference of games. Yeah,
so a couple things that stood out to me that I didn't think would be up there. I didn't know Battlefront was such a big seller. I didn't know that Battlefield was such a big seller. I knew that the franchise was successful. I just didn't know that it was quite like Mario Kart / worst selling Call of Duty big.
Can't believe Zelda's that low.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's got that game will continue to sell for years to come.
Yeah, true.
It'll have and that one coming out in 2017. So a lot of these ones are from earlier in the decade. They've had time to build up.
Right.
Skyrim's 2011.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto 5 is
2013.
It re-released twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just continues to be one of the most played games, and
supported online as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was actually surprised that Breath of the Wild is that high up.
You mean on the list at all?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
How come?
I feel like there's other games that have a larger audience, I guess. Like, I don't know, Super Smash Brothers. You kind of think of it. I mean, obviously not the new one because it hasn't been a decade since it's been out.
No, but they had Smash 4.
Yeah, but that was on the Wii U.
So. Yeah, that's true. That one of the worst selling, and 3DS.
True.
Yep.
But there's.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what games are released on.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Mario Odyssey too, but then again, that's also more of a recent towards the end. Yep. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I bet we'll see some more of those creep up, but it's just so dominated by Call of Duty that these other games. It's almost like there should be two categories of selling games.
For sure.
It's like madness. So now that we've talked about the best-selling games of the 2010 to 2019 decade, I want to compare that to the 2000 to 2009, and wow, shit's done changed.
Yeah.
Yes, it has.
That's what I was looking. I was like, "Whoa, wow, Guitar Hero."
Almost for the worst, in my opinion.
I would say so. Yes, I mean, there's definitely more variety. Although you still got 3 Call of Duties in the top 10. Amazing.
Shit.
Number 1, Guitar Hero 3: Legends of Rock.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that was a true phenomenon of a game. I miss it. I miss going over to my friend's house and getting high and playing Guitar Hero.
Same.
I'll say it.
We used to do it so much that my friend in high school, he used to start telling his parents before, because we were still underage, so we were seniors in high school. We'd go out, have a couple drinks. So he'd always tell his family, his parents be like, "Mom, Dad, I'm going over." My nickname was Shaggy at the time. They're like, "I'm going over to Shaggy's house to play some Rock Band." I think they knew, because that was what we did every weekend. But he would always bring his Rock Band stuff to cover anyway. And
really?
If we felt like playing Rock Band, we could always play Rock Band.
That's awesome.
But it was rad. You get the smoke machine. They actually had a smoke machine for it.
Whoa.
Yeah, I set off my fire alarm a bunch of times at my mom's house.
That's legit.
It was wild.
All right, number 2, Wii Fit.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Rock Band. Number 4, We Play. What is? Oh, is that the sports one?
No, that's the one that's actually dropped when it was 2010, 2011. I was working at GameStop. It was huge. It was Christmas for 2 years. People, I'd sell at least 1 or 2. They had this big square box with just a Wiimote in it and We Play games. It was just a continuation of Wii Sports. It's a collection of a bunch of mini games, and then you got a Wiimote with the game when you bought it. So it's basically oh yeah, I need another Wiimote, but I also want a game.
Okay. Guitar Hero World Tour, number 5. Number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Number 7, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the one that started it all. Number 8, Mario Kart Wii. Yeah. I know that was a freaking gigantic game.
Oh, yeah.
Number 9, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Number 10, Call of Duty World at War. And then Guitar Hero 2, Rock Band 2, Madden NFL 07, Halo 3, Madden NFL 08, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Madden NFL 09, Halo 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Madden NFL 06. Wow.
It's good to see at least 2 Halos made it. And Guitar Heroes.
Yeah.
3 Halos. No, 2 Halos.
And Madden.
And Madden used to be a bigger deal than it is now. Now I think 2K sells more than it. But I'll have to double check on that.
I think FIFA sells more than both of those.
Yes, it does. Yes. All right. So our next story, and this one makes me sad because,
Wait, can I talk a little bit about that list?
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to ask, why aren't rhythm games like Rock Band, Guitar Hero such a big thing anymore? I don't really understand why, or are they still a big thing, but everything else is just that much bigger?
They're definitely not the thing they were. That's for sure.
It was part of a big fad, I think, in one way. I know another, Harmonix and the other company, that they were just at each other's throats for so long. I think there was something. 1, there was a big dispute, and 2, I know it was really hard trying to get the license for most of the songs. There was what was that guy? Was it Slash? Or was somebody who
Axl,
Axl Rode.
Yeah,
he sued Guitar Hero because they're like, oh, we want to sample this, and they're like, oh yeah, well you can use this song, but don't depict me or don't depict Slash, because he had they had
a huge falling out over the rights to all the Guns N' Roses music.
Yep, yeah.
So Axl forced everybody to sign their rights to all the music and the royalties over to him. So he has sole ownership
like an Axl
of it.
Move.
Yep, yeah. It does definitely an Axl move.
And he waited too long to sue him, and the lawsuit didn't go through.
I think, Tyler, just sort of sign of the time, or just it was so novel back then to be able to play good songs like that with a controller that felt somewhat like a guitar, and then the other things just spawned off of it, the Rock Band and the drumming. I think people just got tired of it. Maybe we'll see a comeback, but maybe smartphones made people too into their devices in order to have fun.
I was thinking about that, like maybe just like the wider accessibility of like the internet and things that you can do over the internet. Kind of put a burden, sent that downhill, because that was something that people played it with their friends in the same room. I mean, you could play online. I can't remember if you could play online in Rock Band 1. I know you could in Rock Band 2. But that was a really super cool thing.
I agree.
I loved Rock Band. I wish it was still around.
Hey, well, technically it is. What they're just doing is not. They decided that with 4, the last one that came out, they're just not going to be releasing new ones. They're just going to support it by adding new songs. So they're still adding new songs to the Rock Band store all the time.
Huh.
To the Rock Band, but to the Guitar Hero.
Yeah, Guitar Hero is non-existent at this point, but Rock Band 4 is still pretty good. Okay. I have it.
Did they change the style up a lot? Like, it's totally different gameplay now?
No.
Like, you check the strum differently?
No, still classic Rock Band and pretty fun.
They made like new guitars that were like, it's like more realistic, like a real guitar, didn't they?
Yeah, for the game called Rocksmith.
For Rocksmith. Yeah. But you could. So right now, let's say one of our viewers were like, "Hey, listen, I got old guitar, or 360 guitar and drums. I could pick it up and play on my Xbox One with them."
Yeah.
With Rock Band 4, because I have the adapter.
He's offering.
Yeah. Well, I have a drum, I have a guitar, and I have a mic. Nice. I just need one more guitar, and we have a full setup.
Word. I like how you said guitar.
I want to see you play. I want to see you play through a part of Dark Souls using the drum set from Guitar Hero.
Ooh, yes. Let's do it.
That'd be wild.
No, that would be wildly terrible.
Let's just get really drunk before, and then we'll do it. We'll be like, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can just go over to start using the D-pad on the little drums.
Okay. Yeah, that could be good times. Good times. All right, so our next story, and this one I kind of have a lot of an article here. I'm going to try and cut down a little bit. Joe Biden saying disappointing things. That was my own headline. So this story is coming from IGN. Joe Biden, one of the front runners.
Not Uncle Joe.
Yes.
Mr. B.
The former vice president, 2020 candidate for president of the United States, has shared some harsh words on Silicon Valley game developers, as reported in a wide-reaching interview in the New York Times. When asked about the Obama administration's legacy on Silicon Valley regulation, Biden talks about meeting with leaders in Silicon Valley to discuss intellectual property rights and describes interacting with an unspecified game developer as one of the little creeps who makes games that teach you how to kill people. And at one point, one of the little creeps sitting around the table who was close to a billionaire, who told me he was an artist because he was able to come up with games that teach you how to kill people. Said Biden. I guess he sort of trailed off. The reporter interrupted Biden at this point to clarify he was talking about video games, to which he agrees. The senator went on to use words like righteous, overwhelming arrogance to further describe those working in tech at Silicon Valley. And then one of those righteous people said to me, we are the economic engine of America. We are the ones. And fortunately, I've done a little homework before I went, and I said, I find it fascinating. As I added up the 7 outfits, everyone's there but Microsoft. I said you have fewer people on your payroll than all the losses that General Motors just faced in the last quarter of employees. So don't lecture me about how you've created all this employment. Continue, Biden. All right, so cranky old Joe is unfortunately not down with the kids and their video games. Anyway, Biden's views on violent video games are not surprising. Back in 2013, when he was vice president, he vocally saw no legal problem taxing violent media. That year, the Gaming Association even published an open letter asking him to look at studies suggesting there's no link between violence and video games. All right, so I don't know if Joe's my first choice for getting Agent Orange out of the office, but you haven't heard that one?
I haven't heard that one yet. That's good. I'm telling you, Whitey, I only tolerate it because my favorite Pokemon is Charmander. You know, I spent 12 days trying to get myself a shiny Charmander, Whitey. Do you know how many days that took away from the presidential campaign? I'll tell you.
Tell me how many.
12 days. 12 days, I just said it. These people, they don't understand hunting shiny Pokemon. I'll tell you, I'm already winded because I'm a big fat 72-year-old. I'll tell you.
All right, so yeah. Thank you, by the way, for that, Mr. Trump.
Pokemon Trump.
No
Pokemon
problem. I'm
Trump.
gonna go back. I need to go to shiny chain my raid dens up. See you guys when the new expansion pack comes out. But yeah, that sucks that Joe Biden's not down with the clown.
No, I think it's just it's the age gap thing. I mean, I'm sure Bernie wouldn't say some stupid shit like this, but it's probably just, you know, and maybe he did meet with an asshole game developer.
He probably did, because a lot. I've met a couple of them myself that aren't, you know, some of it's the same thing. It goes for everybody else in the world. One bad apple ruins the bunch.
Yeah.
It's like you meet one little asshole, and that's like, man, your whole group's stinky like an asshole, and you don't want that to happen. Sorry for swearing so much.
But is this going to make me not vote for him if he gets the nomination? No, because I'm not an idiot. I mean, he's 78 years old. He did not grow up playing games. Probably, you know, had all the negative connotations around him back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't have a kid that's like real into Twitch that's opened his eyes, and he just, you know. So whatever. I it's disappointing, but it's not surprising. Just, you know, give it another 20, 30 years. People like that, they'll be all gone.
Just let it simmer. Oh my god! Speaking of that, have you seen all these OK Boomer memes going around?
Oh
now?
yeah.
Oh yeah. My god.
I mean, my job is essentially going around saying "OK Boomer."
You should get a little sticker. You should get a sticker.
I'm a social worker for the elderly, if you didn't know. So yeah, that's my job.
You should put that on Wiley's business card.
I should literally.
OK Boomer.
OK Boomer. Yeah.
He's an OK Boomer.
What? My phone's talking to me.
Wow. That's pretty key.
But yeah, any other thoughts on that, guys?
That's, you know, yeah.
I'm not surprised by Uncle Joe.
No,
you know.
Like, I don't know if he's trying to win. Maybe he's trying to like win a certain. I know shit about politics to begin with. But
maybe somebody in this campaign was like, "Listen, video game players aren't going out to vote, so you can shit on them and keep it moving."
Yeah,
you never know. You never know what they told them behind closed doors, and they were like, "You know, these are the voters you want to go for. More likely to get out there and vote." Instead of the gamers, who most likely with all the back stigma, they're like they're in the basement. They're not gonna leave. They're afraid of the sun.
They will leave their mom's basement. They can't stand the sunlight. Okay, two of those things may be right, but I do need to go to get gas for my car and my coffee and my anime games. So
there you go.
That's when maybe have an election on one of those days, like a Friday when they release. I don't know, maybe My Hero Academia 2 or One Punch Man Greatest Dad Ever, and then I'll vote.
One Punch Man game's coming out pretty soon, huh?
I know, and it does look not great.
and the Fairy Tail game. All the shows I watch.
I might pick up Fairy Tail.
I've been trying to rewatch it.
I'm not gonna pick up.
There's so many hundreds of episodes.
There's a lot of Fairy Tail. I did not realize that going back into it. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I feel seriously. More episodes an anime has, the least likely I want to watch. Like if I hear a thing has like 150, 200, I'm like, that's the absolute high end of where I can go.
Yeah.
Like beyond
never
that,
want to watch One Piece.
Yeah, exactly. Well, never.
You might as well start
unless
Black
I'm
Clover.
Stuck on an island.
Start Black Clover before it gets away from you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
because it's in the 117, 120.
Mm-hmm.
Word. Okay, maybe I'll get back into that. I'm getting pretty far into season 2 of My Hero right now. So
finish that up first.
Yeah, finish that. That takes precedence in my view.
Gotcha.
Even the Black Clover's prequel.
It is, but MHA.
Oh yeah,
top notch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tyler, you got anything else you want to bring up?
Sweetie?
No, I think I'm good.
You're good to
for
go.
The day, yeah, we're getting up there.
Okay, cool. Well, this has been the Level With You show, a weekly video game podcast where we get together and talk about, you guessed it, video games. You just witnessed it. Thank you for being a part of the show. If you're watching live on Twitch, please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Please like the video and share with your friends. Check us out on, other days, streaming other stuff. Until next time, stay level.
Goodbye.